Hey Everett, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. I appreciate you taking the time for this quick, kind of asking you a couple questions, how the program was for you. So first of all, if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about your business, about what you do, um, just to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Everett, located in Texas. Just doing a lot of marketing, sales, consulting, all in real estate, sales, and then actually just recently added in a new one for consulting in cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin. So big believer in that, and yeah, it's been great.
Awesome, awesome, very cool. And I saw you're posting more stuff on IG now too. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to, social media is tough. I absolutely hate it, but got to do it to expose yourself in the market and everything. So yeah, just doing my best, but it's tough.
Hear you. I hear you. Absolutely. Um, So from your side, before joining our program, what were, some funding obstacles that you had that you were trying to figure out?
Yeah, I mean, just number one, it's I would go in into a bank and say, "Hey, here's my business. This is what I'm doing," and then they, give me a thumbs up, tell me what I was doing was cute, to then, say open up a personal business, a personal card. Yeah, we can give you like business funding for like 2 grand or whatever it might be. So yeah, me going in by myself definitely wasn't useful at all. So yeah, being able to connect with you and help me actually open up business funding with the relationships that you have changed night and day difference.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad we were able to, help you out, secure that funding. And it can be kind of like a maze, when you're trying to figure out everything on your own.
Yeah.
What was like that turning point, that deciding factor where you took the leap and, j joined us?
Yeah, honestly, I was just kind of frustrated. I just like kept on like I'm a very cheap person. Like I try to say frugal, but like I am cheap. Like I know I am. And I just didn't want to pay for someone to help me when I thought I could figure it out. So once it got to a point where I was just getting frustrated because it wasn't working and I didn't have
Mhm.
the time to do it myself and the resources, I said, okay, you know what? Like I'm gonna reach out for some help somewhere. And you were just like the next person that popped up on my social media. I looked at a lot of your content because like obviously with social media and skepticism and so many things, I was like, I have to trust somebody and not just somebody who's like flaunting a Ferrari or anything like that. I was like, I need to trust this person. And yeah, for some reason I just trusted you.
Appreciate that. And after signing up, I know initially it can be like when you're on that call and talking to the funding advisor or the sales team members, it can be a lot to take in, right? So, how soon after joining did you feel, you made the right choice?
I mean, probably once I got the first funding for
Hmm.
like half the amount that what I got, I was like, okay, this is sick. This is cool. Like finally somebody helped me. Finally getting the funding that I was looking for. So yeah, just after I got the first funding.
Great. And what bank was the first one? What was the amount that we hit on that first card?
The first card was literally the majority of it. It was 50 grand. And I was like doing it by myself. I got like a tenth of it from the same bank actually. So
Yep.
that's
Yep.
funny enough.
Great. Great. I'm glad to hear that. And what have you been? I know you're already starting to deploy the capital. What have you been using it for? What are some, other opportunities that you're even looking at as well?
Yeah, so deploying it, multiple different ways, obviously with marketing, paying for a lot of things, that just comes with the cost of running a business,
Hmm.
which has been great because now I have a bunch of points now that my wife and I are going to go to Cabo at the end of the year, all for free because of those points. So absolutely, just in that is worth it.
Yeah.
Outside the business, and then also I figured a way to pay. I did consulting to myself, so I'm
Hmm.
not sure if this is super legal, but I consulted to myself to buy more Bitcoin.
I hear you.
So
Okay.
yeah, so just any way I could possibly rack up as much
Yep.
Bitcoin that I possibly can, and it happened right before they broke 100K.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're super excited on that to be able to own Bitcoin at less than six figures.
Very cool. And I remember you told me you're also in the real estate space and you're doing lending. So you've got a lot of, and Bitcoin is exploding, right? It's
Yeah. So
yeah.
real estate, Bitcoin, just anything that's just, obviously on the up and up.
Hmm.
Real estate is always going to be there. And
Hmm.
then for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, yes, it is, somewhat new.
Hmm.
Um, but obviously it's the future of money.
Hmm.
So obviously wanting to get in as low as possible, as early as possible.
Hmm.
Because I obviously see it being worth millions one day per coin.
You believe in it, yeah. I do as well. I believe in, what's happening with the cryptocurrency and what it means for the average person, right? It's
Yeah. I mean, my first Bitcoin that I bought, I mean, there's always somebody who's going to buy cheaper, but like myself, my first Bitcoin that I bought was at 17,000.
Mhm.
So yeah, obviously I've seen it come a long ways from there,
Yeah,
and wishing that I knew this earlier. But again, I was in a state that I didn't even know, or I was, I was living in a
yeah,
different country. So
I get you.
wouldn't have known what Bitcoin was at that time.
Got you, got you. And when, for somebody that is watching this video, maybe hasn't taken the leap to, get some funding for themselves, maybe they're trying to figure out if, something is real or not, kind of like how you were in the beginning. What would you say to somebody like that?
Honestly, yeah, it's tough, especially with social media and not knowing the people and not knowing, get to know people, and all you can do is just do diligence on their company, their backgrounds, things like that. It can be a risk, especially if you're bootstrapping everything. But it's again, and I'm a random person. When we first met, we were randoms. The people who
Mhm.
are going to be listening to this is people that I don't know as well. But again,
Yep.
is for me, and what turned my point before I even got the first funding.
Mhm.
Um, it was the trust that I felt from you and your team. Not just like you weren't super salesy, you weren't trying to push this down my throat, you weren't saying like sign up now, now, now. It was just like, hey, we'll go at your pace. Whatever you want to do is what we'll do, things like that. And that's what helped me kind of like say, okay, this person isn't just trying to sell me,
Mhm.
uh, some sort of course or some sort of way to help. I did talk to people that are like, yeah, let's do this right now, right now, right now. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do this right now. So yeah, definitely needed to sit on it, and you gave me all the time that I needed to do so.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And that's one characteristic that I have in general. Like I'm not the pushy salesman type. There's always going to be a great flow of opportunities out there, right? And if it's not the right time for somebody, it's not the right time. Totally get
Right.
it. Um, so for somebody that's hesitating or on the fence to book that call with us, get on the call with my sales team or my funding team, what would you say to somebody like that?
Honestly, just do it. Like it's only going to help you, right? So if you're gonna, it's what you always see, like what everybody says when they're selling something. It's like, hey, like put your money where your mouth is. One, are you a serious business owner to actually invest into yourself? You
Hmm.
know, I always hear like the example. It's like, well, it cost you $1,000 for a new iPhone, but you won't even spend $20 on something that's going to help you in your business, right? So it's just like changing that mindset and just realizing like this is something that's going to help you in the long run,
Hmm.
not something that's going to make you look cool because you have the biggest, newest, flashiest phone or whatever it might be. So yeah, 100% just all in, full send, no half send on it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Great. How much did you end up getting in total? Now.
Honestly, we probably could have gotten a lot more, but honestly, I didn't need it. So that's why I just kind of said, like, hey, might as well. Like, I don't want to be tempted. I don't want to be
Mhm.
like all that stuff. I have like 93 grand worth of like funding, but again,
Yep.
I've only used less than half of it because I didn't need it. It's great to have the other half for a buffer and all that stuff, and I can go out and get more, business funding with other types of connections. But again, I didn't want to tempt myself and go out and buy all these things and then, not need it.
Mhm.
So just kind of being, conservative with it.
Absolutely. And the point that you mentioned as well, there's a lot more that comes in, like the travel points and
Oh
cash.
yeah, 100%. That alone helps.
Very cool. Well, Ever, I appreciate you taking the time for this call. It was great catching up with you again. And if you have any question for me, feel free to reach out. We're
Always.
more than glad to help. Yep.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.